The worst part, it wasn't the scream. There was no scream. It wasn't a sudden disaster or a violent struggle. It was the absolute, total, unnatural silence that landed in the middle of our village, then spread, creeping into the woods like a poison. It has been 12 years, and I still flinch when the wind stops. I was 15. Amina, my younger cousin, was 12. She was small, but she had the spirit of a 1,000-year-old lion. She wasn't scared of anything, and she had this way of looking at you like she saw the shape of your soul, not just your face. People said she was too clever for her age, that she asked too many questions about things best left buried. They were right. Amina is why I'm telling you this. She didn't run away, you need to understand that fully. I'm telling you about the time I watched the world break, right at the edge of the Ennua forest. The forest is old and it has rules, but what happened to Amina? That broke the rules of everything. It all started with Baba's inheritance. My grandfather Baba was the keeper of old things, things that smelled like dry earth and forgotten histories. He had a wooden chest, heavy and iron-bound, that he kept locked beneath his cot. It didn't hold money, it held secrets, and among those secrets was the map. We didn't call it a map, not really. It was a scroll of cracked, dark hide, maybe goat or deer skin, and the drawings weren't ink. They looked like they'd been branded or burned into the surface. Lines like rivers, small dots for places, and right at the center of a jagged, dark peak, a single, perfect spiral. It was beautiful and disgusting at the same time. Baba showed it to us once years ago on the night of the new moon. He told us a story about it, a path to a hidden place, a place that held what was stolen long ago. He said it was powerful, but that the power was a hungry thing. Do not look too closely, he warned. It can feed on curiosity. Everyone forgot the story, but Amina didn't. She began to ask Baba about the map daily, not with the nagging of a child, but with the relentless focus of a scholar. Baba grew tired, then worried. He locked the chest and hid the key under the deepest stone by the well. But the obsession, the fever had started. It was a quiet sickness. Amina's personality shifted. She became distant, lost in her own head. I would talk to her about the upcoming harvest, about school, about the other kids. She would just nod, her eyes fixed on something over my shoulder. She was right there, but miles away. It's a very strange feeling to lose someone who is still standing next to you. The worst sign was when she tried to draw it. She would sit for hours with charcoal and clay, trying to copy the map's spiral symbol, but she could never get it right. I know you're enjoying this video. Kindly like, share and click the subscribe button for more great videos like this. Her drawings always looked frantic, like a bird trying to escape a cage. One day she showed me a drawing where the spiral wasn't on paper. It was lightly scratched into her own palm. She looked at me, no pain in her face, just the strange, flat certainty. "It tells me things," she whispered. The change accelerated in the final week. She found the map. I don't know how. Baba swore he hadn't moved the stone. But there it was, rolled up and strapped to her hip beneath her shirt. She stopped sleeping altogether. She would sit by the fire, eyes wide, humming a low, tuneless song. I tried to get help. I ran to Baba. He looked at the map, and for the first time I saw genuine fear on his face. Not just worry, but the cold dread of knowing a mistake has been made and the reckoning is coming. "Quaim," he said, his voice brittle. "She is not seeing the path on the map. She is seeing the path through the map. It has chosen her." He tried to reason with her. He pulled her aside and spoke for nearly 2 hours, using every proverb and warning known to our family. Amina just listened politely. When he finished, she simply stood up and said, "I have to go while the door is ajar." That night I cornered her by the water trough. I was angry and terrified. I grabbed her shoulders. My voice was low, so no one would hear us, but it was shaking. "Amina, listen to me. That thing will kill you. It's just an old drawing. You will get lost. The lions will find you, or worse, the water snakes. Give it to me now." She didn't fight me. She looked at me and her eyes were filled with profound disappointment. She said, "Quaim, you hear the river, but you do not hear what it whispers. You see the hills, but you do not see the hollow places inside them. I am going to the real home, the one that waits for the rightful keepers. Why are you so determined to stay here in this shadow?" She shrugged off my hands. She didn't have to be strong to do it. It was like I let go on my own. It felt like trying to hold smoke. That's what high stakes feel like. You think you're fighting hard, but your strength isn't even registering. She walked away, leaving me standing there, wet from the trough, feeling completely useless. I should have tied her up. I should have burned the whole house down. The next morning was market day, a busy time, so her absence wasn't noted until nearly noon. Her bed was neat. The map was gone. The small wooden bird charm she had always carried, the one Baba had carved for her 3rd birthday, was missing from her neck. Panic hit the village like a sudden hailstorm. We searched everywhere. We covered the entire perimeter of the farm, checked every stream, every trail leading to other villages. Nothing. It was Baba who found the place. He came back from the northern path, his head bowed, not speaking. He walked straight to me, pulled my hand, and marched me to the ancient mango tree that sits exactly 50 paces from the edge of the Enua forest. "Look, boy," he ordered, his voice raw. I looked down. In the dense shade beneath the tree, where the soil was soft and perpetually cool, there was a patch of ground maybe 4 feet across. The ground itself was flat, undisturbed. No shoe print, no scrape, not a single mark to show someone had stepped there. It was unnaturally smooth, like cement that hadn't quite set. In the dead center of this empty circle lay Amina's wooden bird. I knelt, I reached for it. No, Baba's voice was like a whip. I stopped, I looked closer. The dust around the bird wasn't ordinary dust. It was clinging to itself, heavy, refusing to move even in the slight breeze. I tried to push my finger into the soil just outside the circle. It was soft, yielding. I tried to push my finger into the soil inside the circle. It was hard as rock, cold and utterly dead. But the truly disturbing thing was the sound, or lack of it. The wind was rustling the mango leaves directly above us. You could hear the buzzing of flies just 6 inches away from the circle, but inside that 4-foot patch, nothing. It was a vacuum of sound. It was the hole in the air she had talked about. She did not walk away, Quame, Baba whispered, tears finally falling down his wrinkled face. She stepped onto the spot and the spot opened. The map did its work, and now the path is closed again. The search escalated to a madness. People came from 3 neighboring villages, trained hunters among them. They brought dogs, but the dogs refused to cross the line of silence near the mango tree. They would whine, back up, and stare, their ears flat against their heads. The forest began to fight us. I swear on my ancestors it did. Old man Musa, our best tracker, went in the next day. He knew the Enua forest better than his own hut. He came out 5 hours later, soaked, scratched, and crying like a child. He said he had walked the same loop 7 times, but every time he tried to take the path deeper, the forest changed. New thorn bushes would spring up overnight. A huge, recognizable grey rock, our northern marker, would suddenly be moved 2 miles east. "The forest is not lost," Musa kept repeating. "We are lost, the forest is showing us a lie." Every time a search party went out, they returned with a different version of the forest. Some said the trees were whispering Amina's name. Others said they found small, perfectly round holes in the trunks of the ironwood trees that looked exactly like the spiral on the map. I started having the dreams again. Every night the same vision, Amina standing in that quiet green light. She wasn't smiling anymore. She was just still, rigid, and she held the map open. It was glowing. She didn't look scared. She looked waiting. As if she was waiting for a bus that was never coming. I would wake up cold, the memory of the dream so sharp I could smell the strange, metallic tang of the air in her vision. The most terrifying moment came 3 weeks in. We were standing by the mango tree, 3 of us just watching the dead spot, hopeless. I was muttering a prayer when I saw it, the little wooden bird. It moved. It didn't roll, it didn't slide, it just tilted. Very slowly, like someone gently pushed it from underneath. It tilted and then it returned to its flat position. And when it tilted for a split second, the air inside that circle got even colder. The silence intensified. And I heard it clearer this time. A breath, a puff of air coming from the ground right under the bird. Lonely. Not cold this time, lonely. We stopped searching after the 6th week. Not because we gave up, but because the spirit of the village was broken. You can fight a lion, you can fight a storm, but you cannot fight a hole in the air. Baba kept the map. He sealed it not in the chest, but in a heavy leather pouch which he kept tied to his belt. He never took it off. He never spoke of the path again, only of the lessons, that some places are not meant to be found, and that the greatest mysteries don't ask for permission. He passed away 3 years later. When we dressed him for burial, the leather pouch was gone, vanished. The map, the spiral, the way back, it went with him, or maybe it just returned to the place Amina found. Today, if you visit my village, life looks normal. But the mango tree is never approached. The land around it is left unploughed. The air there is heavy and quiet, and no child plays near the Enua forest after sunset. The memory of the girl who vanished with the old map isn't a story of a lost child. It's a story of a door closing and the knowledge that sometimes, when the truth calls, it doesn't leave a trail for us to follow. And the silence left behind is the real horror. You have heard this story, a real memory I carry every single day. The silence is still here, you know, it never truly goes away. If you felt the cold of that empty spot, if this memory has stayed with you, I need you to do something for me. Please like this video to show me this story mattered, share it with someone who respects the secrets of the old world, and subscribe to the channel. I have more untold stories from this land, tales of things that linger, things that hide, and things that simply vanished. We'll delve into the truth together.